Okay, hello everyone. This is a quick video on how you're going to be annotating for this rhetoric step 1, summarizing the arguments. We're starting out in a slightly different place. We're starting out in Google Classroom so that you can see what that assignment is going to look like. Over here on the right-hand side, this is assigned to me, so it has my name and then the PDF. So I'm going to open that up. And I have a button here that says open with Cami. Now this could be in a couple of different places for you. It could be here, it could be in the middle of the screen, or it could be under here, annotate with Cami. But you want to open with Cami. Okay. Now, you've already watched your video on some of these tools, but I'm going to show you a couple of quick tricks here. As you are moving through Cami, you've seen how to do the highlight. So under markup, you can highlight text. Now, something cool is a shortcut. If you hover over that, it gives you this extra little menu bar where you can change the color of that highlight, you can copy that, or you can add a comment directly there, okay? Or, like I'm about to do, you can hit delete, okay? So instead of having to hit markup and then go over to comment, you can do that all in one place. Now, the goal of this first run through is to concentrate on what are the arguments Sojourner Truth is making in this speech called Ain't I a Woman? And it was delivered at the 1851 Women's Rights Convention, the Old Stone Church, since demolished, in Akron, Ohio. Now, this is in more of a colloquial speech, so it's regional speech, and she has some kind of interesting things to say. So make sure you follow along. Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about? Okay, now, in this paragraph, we want to stop and say, what is she saying here? What is the argument she's making? So much racket, there must be something out of kilter. Now, if you hover over the word kilter, I'm going to go to the dictionary. No definitions found. Okay, so if we go to Google and we look up definition of kilter. See what it says. Out of harmony or balance. Okay, so we go back here. So if there's so much, there must be something out of kilter. So something out of balance. I'm going to want to put in here, go back to markup, my apologies, and put in here a little note. Something is out of balance. And essentially what this means is there's turmoil or trouble in the world right now, okay? I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. So what this sentence is telling us, okay, and I'm going to just simply put a text box here, okay, and I'm going to do it in black. Okay, so African Americans, hold on. And white women are all talking about equal rights. So remember, this is at a time when African Americans were still slaves. Women still didn't have the right to vote or own property, inherit property. They couldn't sign any legal documents. They couldn't testify in court. All of those things had to be done by either their husband or their closest male relative, such as their father, their brother, and uncle. Someone had to basically have custody of that woman, even if she was 60 years old. She didn't have the rights to do things on her own. So just like, well, not just like, white women were still free, and they still had far, far, far more rights than African Americans and slaves at that time. But both of these groups were lobbying and fighting for equal rights. And so they kind of joined together and helped each other, which is part of the reason why Sojourner Truth was speaking at this convention, because she wanted to advocate both for rights for African Americans and for women. Okay, so I move this up by this paragraph. Oh, come on. Okay. And white men will be in a fix pretty soon. That's a really, I'm going to go to markup here. That's a really interesting phrase. The white men will be in a fix pretty soon. Now, to say you're going to be in a fix means basically white men are going to be in trouble soon. And they're not talking about violence. They're not talking about any of those things. But everyone around them is fighting for equal rights and is fighting to hear their voices heard. And up until this point, only white men had the right to have their voices heard. So for a lot of white men at the time, they felt that giving women equal rights, giving African Americans equal rights, would somehow diminish their own power. They wouldn't be as powerful. And on one hand, yes, that's pretty accurate. They all of a sudden would have to consider someone else's opinion, but it doesn't diminish their rights to speak or to have property or to vote. It just adds more people who are able to do that. So that's kind of the viewpoint. But what's all this here talking about? Now, this could be one of two things. She could be talking directly to someone in the crowd or to a group within the crowd, or she could be a general statement. So what is the world talking about? So what are the details here? So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to make that a different color. I'm going to make that one green. Okay, change it here. There we go. And I'm going to go with it that this is a statement to the world. What is it that we are talking about? It's basically what she's asking there. Okay, now I'm going to go just a little bit further. Now, this next paragraph, it starts with, that man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Okay, so this section, and I'm going to do this as a text box. One of the arguments made was that men said that women, move this down, were highly valued and protected. The examples that he gives are lifted over ditches, given the best seats, etc. She's saying that no one ever does that for her. And she is a woman. Okay? Very important. I'm a woman. They don't do this kind of stuff for me, so I don't know what you're talking about, is kind of what she's saying there. Okay? Now, your job now is to continue through this document, and it's only one page, okay? And you are going to annotate, like I've done, looking for the different arguments. You might have to use the dictionary. Now, most common words the dictionary is going to know. So like if we look at carriages, let's get rid of that. Keep forgetting you have to go to dictionary first. And then if I click on carriages, see, it's going to tell me the definition. but occasionally you'll run into words like kilter that aren't in common usage. Okay, so when you are all finished with your annotations, you want to go up here where it says turn in, okay? But before you actually turn it in, there's that big turn in button, you want to hit save now. Now, even though autosave is checked, it doesn't always save them. So you see here 2 unsaved changes, even though autosave is on. You want to hit save now and then hit turn in. Okay. Now, if for some reason it gives you an error there, it's checking the file, it's submitting it. It'll take me back to the assignment. Turn in your work. Yep. And it's done. Okay. Now, if for some reason it doesn't give you that series and take you back, once you've hit save now, just come back here and hit submit or hit turn in, and you are all set. Good luck, guys.